Today we're going to talk about all the things you may need if you're going on a trip in Egypt with a Nile River cruise. These are the things that I packed, things that I found to be necessary, things that I found that just made life a little more comfortable, one thing that I packed that I did not need. So come along with me as we pack for Egypt. First thing people want to know is what kind of clothes do I need to bring? Well, I'm wearing my galabaya that I got in Egypt because why not? When else am I going to wear it? But what you will need when you go to Egypt, of course, will be certain clothing that is good for the climate. The items I'm showing you are all things that I have just purchased individually myself, and they're items that I love and use when I travel. Now, I do have links in the description below of several of the Amazon products, and as an Amazon associate, I do receive compensation on qualified purchases, so I just want to have a full disclosure there. If you click on a link and buy through that link, they do pay me a little commission. Let me show you some of the things that I packed. First, I have several tops like this. These are those moisture wicking type blouses. I have them in various colors, all pretty much the same style. These are great when you go because you can go on tour, you can get hot, you can get sweaty. They tend to wick the moisture away, and then you can wash them out in the sink very easily, hang to dry, and they're ready for the next day. And very similarly, I have pants, the same type thing. They are UV protecting. They have pockets all over the place. I've got pockets in the side, pockets closer to the thigh. I have back pockets. These are wonderful to have, and just like the shirts, you can wash them in the sink, hang them to dry. They're ready to wear again the next day. Don't take up hardly any room. And one thing I have found, some people ask, can you wear shorts? Well, yeah, you can wear shorts. There are some venues that do require that you have your shoulders covered, your knees covered. The mosques, some churches will require that. I just like to wear pants. Now, I know a lot of people love to wear shorts, but to me, it's not much hotter to have pants on like this as it is to have shorts on, and your skin is not absorbing all that heat from the sun, so it protects you and you don't have to use as much sunscreen, and you can avoid some sunburn from that as well, and you don't have to worry about changing or putting something over your knees when you go in. But that's just my personal preference, but I love this style of pants. The items I'm showing you are all things that I have just purchased individually myself, and they're items that I love and use when I travel. Now, I do have links in the description below of several of the Amazon products, and as an Amazon associate, I do receive compensation on qualified purchases, so I just want to have a full disclosure there. If you click on a link and buy through that link, they do pay me a little commission. Our guide recommended that everyone should wear tennis shoes with socks, no sandals. She said that sand will get into your feet and it will be uncomfortable, and I had packed just right for that, because the shoes I chose to take on this trip are Skechers. They are washable. I picked a color that might kind of go with the sand. These are the slip-in varieties. They stay tied. You don't have to worry about the shoelaces coming undone while you're walking. They turned out to be a perfect fit for this particular trip. Now, I always bring a jacket, and I bring a hoodie. Now, why in the world would I need a hoodie in Egypt? Well, you don't really necessarily need it in Egypt, but we traveled there in late November, and it was chilly in Cairo. I was glad to have had this. Had some long sleeve shirts as well that I could wear during those chillier times when we were there, more in the northern part of Egypt. Of course, when you get all the way south, you're not going to need long sleeves, except perhaps indoors. So I find having something like this is great on the airplane. I like a hoodie. It gives me that extra warmth. So you're going to take an airplane most likely to travel to Egypt. So if I'm wearing my hoodie and I happen to be in an overnight flight, I can actually pull the hood up over my head and let it come down over my eyes. That way, I don't have to wear one of those eye patches. I can't stand to wear them right up next to my face. I just can't sleep at all with that. Can't sleep much on a plane anyway, but this way it covers out most of the light and I can get a little bit better rest. I also have a very lightweight jacket, which is UV protective, and I love this one when you just need that little bit more warmth or you want the protection from the sun. An absolute necessity in Egypt is a hat. This is the one I really like, and if you've watched any of my Egypt videos, you have probably seen me wearing it on every one of them. What I love about this hat is it has a pull cord in the back, so you can tighten up the headband in case you have a smaller head, or loosen it up if you have a larger head, so it can be more of a one-size-fits-all. I like that it has a very, very wide brim, so it offers more sun protection. And I like that it has a chin strap that I can pull up if I'm in a windy location, or I can leave it down if I don't want to wear it. This hat has a little hole in the very back, a little slit. So if I happen to have my hair pulled back into a ponytail when I'm wearing it longer, like I'm wearing it right now, I could slip a ponytail through that and it wouldn't have that big bunch in the back. This hat was my go-to in Egypt. It even has little snaps somewhere. It even has little snaps on the side if I wanted to make it look like this, although I'm not really sure that that's my style. I like having all the extra shade around my face. My husband has a hat very similar. So mine is a Fur Talk brand. His is a Columbia brand. And it has these little air pockets so you get a little more ventilation with it. But my husband also has another hat that he got from Bass Pro. And he really likes this hat because it looks nice and it's also ventilated and has the chin strap if needed. The only problem with this hat is I had to be really careful with packing it. I think I probably could have condensed that down and it would have lived to tell about it, but it looks so nice I didn't really want to risk ruining it. So I had to pack it in our checked bag like this, where I could pack other items on each side and front and back, and even some things in the center so that it would maintain its shape. Wasn't bad. Worked out really well. It's very light, didn't cause any extra real weight in there. It was just a little bit of a chore to kind of figure out how to pack it. I saw lots of people with an umbrella, and if you want to take an umbrella, I would suggest you get one that's very condensable like this is. This one has its own little pouch, and then you can open it up and you would have a lot of good sunshade around you. This was great when you're standing out and listening to your guide, giving a lot of extra sun protection. It was not great when you were in big crowds, and occasionally we were in a big crowd. So people with their umbrellas would need to take them down because they were bumping each other and depend on their hat. But that's not a bad thing to take with you to Egypt if you want to keep up with an umbrella. Now, while touring, I like to have a backpack, but not necessarily to carry on the tour itself. To keep in the bus, maybe, with all of my extra things in it. You're going to want to have bottled water. You're going to have several things that you take. Maybe you purchase some things while you're in the markets, and you want to be able to put them in the backpack. So it's good to have a backpack. I like this one, this Zomaki brand. I have two different ones, a red one and a kind of a teal color one, so that my husband and I each have one. But the thing about these, they pack neatly into its own pocket. So when I unzip it, I can take everything out. It's a little bit of a challenge to get it back in there once you put it out to begin with. And it unfolds and looks like this. So it has a great zipper in the front, another medium zipper where you can put things. It's got a big inside pocket. So this has a lot of room, a great backpack. Now, I don't love carrying this in Egypt, and I'll tell you why. Everywhere you go, in all of the ancient sites, you are likely to have to scan your bag. So you will have to take that bag and put it through a scanner and go across to the other side and pick it up. It's a little bit of a hassle. So I really like not having to do that and having a bag. I like having my pockets. Most of the time, little things you have in your pockets, they weren't making you empty pockets. They were just making you put your bag through. But you could have to empty pockets, so it's nice to have a bag. One bag that I love is this little string backpack. Takes up no room at all in a suitcase. This was one we got. Oh, my kids went to something and I've had it forever. It's just a flat little bag, drawstrings that become the backpack holder. One thing I do like is this particular one has a little pocket for a water bottle and has plenty of room. If you bought some little souvenirs, you could put it in that. It would fold up to almost nothing. You could stick it in a pocket and only use it if you needed it. So this is a really good kind of bag to take. I also have this bag. It has a little place, an RFID protecting place. It's got room in it where you can put some credit cards, you can put your currency, you could put your passport, you could even put your phone. You can get a lot of things in there. Primarily use it for my passport and my currency, and I will wear it under my clothes. and it's not going to be something that I have to get into really often. But the thing I love to carry with me is this purse, because I'm kind of a purse person. I do like this travel-on bag. It forces me not to carry too much stuff, but it has enough room for all the things I really do need. What I like about it is that the strap is adjustable. I can wear it cross-body. I tend to wear it cross-body and in front of myself. I have enough room in this bag that I can put my phone, my extra chargers, my currency, anything I'm going to need. I can even get a bottle of water in there. It's just enough space for the things that I want to take out on the trips when I go out into the tours. Let me take just a break and say, if you are enjoying my videos, you find anything helpful at all, please hit the like button. That tells YouTube that my content is valuable, and it shoots it out to more people when they see that other people are watching my content. Also, if you could put a comment, that really helps too, because YouTube goes, ooh, they're interested. Let's let more people see it. And even better yet, if you've not yet subscribed, I'd love to have you subscribe too. Hit the notification bell so it'll tell you when I've got another video coming. I like to have a little bit of local currency anytime I travel, and so you need the Egyptian pounds for Egypt if you're getting Egyptian currency. Our bank was able to do it for us. There was a limit to how much you can get, and it's a good thing because we didn't realize till after we had ordered 5,000 Egyptian pounds that you do have a limit of how much you can bring into the country. And if we'd ordered a whole lot more, it would have been more than we were allowed to take. 5,000 Egyptian pounds is only like $100 US. When we got them, they came in just 100-pound Egyptian notes. Once we got to Egypt, we were able to exchange some at the bank for some smaller bills. We could get some 50s and some 20s, and those were really great because you need to tip in 20s and 50s for going to the bathroom in Egypt. Often you would have to tip them, and you could give them a US dollar. 100 Egyptian pounds at the time of this recording was about $2, and you could actually go to the restroom most places for about 20 pounds, which is a lot less than $2, and they were happy to take that. So it's good to have the Egyptian pounds with you. Also, having several $1 bills. The dollar was very readily accepted, and they liked having the dollars in the major cities where they can get it converted pretty easily. So having dollars is a good thing too, and having little bills. Now, the visa on arrival for U.S. citizens, I'm not sure what other countries there are, so if you're watching this from some other country, do your research to find out what you need to do to have a visa to enter Egypt. But at least in our case, we did the visa on arrival, and it was a very easy process, but they wanted $25 US exact change per person. So make sure to pack the exact change of what it's going to take to get that Egyptian visa, and then you'll be all set once you get to the airport and you get that visa. Or what other items do I want to pack that I'm going to take with me when I go on tour? I recommend that you get several little packs of these travel tissues, because frequently you'll go to the bathroom and there won't be any tissues. A lot of times when you've paid your tip, they'll give you a square or two. You might need more than a square or two, so it's good to have these. They don't take any weight at all, and it's nice to have them on your person when you're needing to go to the restroom or just needing a tissue. Also, I like to get these little wet ones. You can buy this kind where you get several in a package that you dispense, but I found these to be much more preferable. You can pack just exactly how many you need. You could get a whole box full of them and just rip off 2 of them. They tear apart, so you can just take 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can throw them in your purse or in a pocket, and you've got a wet one. Instead of needing to take a bunch of hand sanitizer, you can pull out a wet wipe, clean your hands with that, or maybe you get a scrape and you need to wash it off. You've got wet wipes here that are great for that. This falls into the gadgets category, but I need my power bank. I'll have my phone charged up completely, so I'm ready to take all my pictures and video that I want to take on my phone, but I need to have my power bank charged up the night before so that it is ready in case I run out of my battery and I need to charge up. This one that I like is the INIU brand. I do like this one because I can charge 2 devices with it simultaneously once it's powered up. I can usually get 2 full charges out of this power bank before I have to charge it back up. But I really love this one. This one is an Anchor brand, has the little charging thing right there, pops up and you can stick it on your phone, and it's great because you don't have to worry about all the little cords. So that's a really handy one. This one is just a little gadget that I kind of like, but you wouldn't necessarily have to have it, but it's like a koozie. So it fits regular water bottles. So if you get a cold bottle of water and you want to put it in this will keep it from sweating onto whatever you're putting it in. Plus it helps to keep it cooler a little longer. It also has a carabiner on the side. So if I really wanted to attach it to a belt or something without having to put it in a bag, I could do that, or attach it to the outside of a bag. Not a necessity at all. Another thing that I pack that's not a necessity at all, I'm sure this is meant to be a coffee cup, but this became my water cup. I like to have water by my bedside at night, and I like it to be cold. They provided water for us at the hotels and on the ship, and they had ice machines on the ship made with filtered water, so I could go put ice in this, I could use the water, I could have this in my room to sip on during the day, and it was a great little thing. TSA approved locks. I don't usually put these on my suitcases when I check them in at the airport. I don't ever put anything in my suitcases of enough value to feel like I need that on there. However, there are going to be times when you need to set your bags in the hallway for them to collect, and I just don't know who all's going to be walking down the hall and decide, let me look in that suitcase. Now, if they really want in my suitcase, they can still get in my suitcase, but I feel like having a little lock on the zipper pulls on that suitcase will keep somebody maybe from deciding that they really want to get in that if they can see another one down the hall that's going to be easier to get into. Now, one thing that I have that I consider a necessity, you may or may not, is a little fan. It's going to be hot in Egypt at some of the locations. The air conditioning may or may not be as cool as I like it. It also helps to provide a little bit of noise in the background, which helps me with sleeping. It has the capability of plugging it in with a USB-A plug. I can use one of my regular adapters, or I can plug it into a USB socket. So it's very versatile that way as far as how you use it and power it up. I can even connect it to a power bank so that if I am outside and I want a fan to blow on me, I could even take this up there with my power bank and enjoy a little bit of breeze that way. Speaking of background noise, we have this little white noise machine that's also can be recharged and used over and over. This is another valuable thing to me when I go on any kind of cruise, to have a little background noise just to drown out all those other little sounds that might come in. All the little gadgets are going to need to be charged. And I have this little gadget, which is great. Takes one plug, but has 3 USB-A's, 3 USB-C's. I can charge up to 6 things at a time using this, but only taking one outlet. And more ocean cruise lines are getting really particular about what kind of charging things you can bring. They're not allowing you to have multi-plug outlets on them. So this helps me with ocean cruising, and I just carried it on the river cruise and it was invaluable. Speaking of charging, you're going to need an adapter. The river cruise ships had US plugs as well as UK plugs, so you have a plug, but sometimes you might want to use the other plug to plug some of your things, and the adapter will work well. So on the ship, you're in good shape. I like this one. It has 3 USB-C's, 1 USB-A. It has what you need for the EU, and it's neat because it says EU. You pull that out and it gives you the plug you need if you're going to plug into an EU socket. It has one that's for the Australia or US if you're going to just need to use that for a different outlet. If you're going to use the UK or Hong Kong, it has that particular plug. And I like that they're all in there and they have just the little thing to push it out. The one thing I don't particularly love about this one is that it has a little bit of a nightlight with it, which I found to be annoying, and I would cover it up when I used it in the room. When you go on tour, they will give you what's called the Quiet Vox, and it has one earpiece on it. And that is intentional because they don't want you to be completely plugged into both ears and not be aware of everything else going on around you so that you don't have accidents when you don't hear something else going around you. But if you don't like that earpiece, you can bring your own set of headphones. Have this kind of adapter. I have this. It's actually a jewelry keeper, but it works great for me. Let me show you what's in it. Lots of different little pouches, and I can put different medicines in each pouch. I have some Tylenol. I have some baby aspirin. I have a couple of prescription bottles of traveler's diarrhea medication prescribed by my doctor that you can just keep on hand. So I just keep them in there. I've never had to use them yet. Also in this little patch, I have some Band-Aids and some little alcohol swabs. Got some Tums. I have Pepto Ultra. I usually have some Q-tips. I keep several versions of antihistamines, some generic Benadryl, which came in really handy one time when a friend of mine got bitten by a spider and needed to have something for allergy relief. And I respond well to Claritin. I also have Zyrtec. I definitely have some Imodium, and I have some chapstick in here. And it's good if the chapstick has a little bit of sunscreen in it, because that sun in Egypt is rough. Speaking of sunscreen, this is my favorite brand, Neutrogena, and I do pack that. I like it because it's not greasy. It goes on smoothly, is not sticky, so I really like this Neutrogena sunscreen. In my carry-on, I put a small one of these sunscreens so I'm ready when I land. If we're about to go on tour and I hadn't got all my check stuff yet, I can get to some sunscreen for my face, my nose. I also, in my carry-on, in the liquids, got to put it in the liquids bag though if it's in the carry-on. Also in the liquids bag, I have some single-use package eye drops, and I have a little bit of antibiotic ointment just in case you are to get a cut or a scrape while you're traveling. Also, you have to pack your own medications, and everything you read says pack it in its own prescription bottle. So I take all my medicines in their prescription bottle. But before I go, I ask the pharmacy, before I go on a long trip, I ask them, would you please pack it in one of the skinny bottles? And they're always happy to do that for me. It's up less room in my suitcase, and I am a happy camper because of it. I pack some clothespins. Got these at the Dollar Tree. They've gone with me many, many places. They're just a plastic, very, very lightweight clothespin that has a pretty good size clip to it. On ocean cruises, I can use it to put my beach towel on my chair. When you've got curtains, you can use it to clip them together in case there's a little bit of a gap and you need that. But primarily, it's to actually hang clothes to dry on the clothesline in the shower. Speaking of washing out things, I have a couple of different things. I have these little Tide-to-go wipes in case I get some spills. And I have these sink suds packets, which will do all fabrics, even delicates, just enough for a sink full of suds so I can wash out some clothes without having to use the harsh soap that they may have there at the sink in the room. Now, what was that one thing I said I packed that I did not need? These are those magnetic hooks that are so handy when you're going on an ocean cruise, that you can hang things up in your cabin because the ocean cruise ship walls are magnetic. These didn't work, at least not on the Viking River cruise, because the walls are not magnetic on those ships. So this was a waste of time, and they're kind of heavy. So if you're going and you're used to packing this for ocean type cruises, leave them at home. If you have come up with any ideas that I did not mention and you want to leave that as a comment, that would be so helpful to other people to read through the comments and see ideas of things that you should or shouldn't pack when you go to Egypt. This is Shirley with Shirley's Journeys, and I hope all of your journeys are pleasant ones.